Sometimes you need extra cash and you just need to save it quick.
Whether you're finishing last-minute holiday shopping or you need more cash to do it with,
or you're actually ready for all the merrymaking, you're done shopping, and it has just come to your attention how much you actually spent this year on those holiday gifts, or maybe you're just getting to the end of the year and realize that really your budget and maybe your goals did not go quite as expected. Whatever position that you are in, if you need extra cash and you need to save it quick, you're in the right place. We're going to give you some help in this video.
if you don't know us, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality.
Let's get started right away with something that is obvious. You need to have a written budget. Too many people, when you ask if they have a budget, the answer is, I have a budget, I know about what I spend. If you have a written budget and you're not actively tracking how much money you're spending, then the budget just isn't doing the job that it could be doing for you if you were combining those two things, having the written budget and also throughout the month tracking where the money is going.
To me, that reminds me of going on vacation without a map and without a travel plan of any kind. Can you imagine? Where would you end up? And that's kind of the way it is if you're not budgeting. You don't know where you're going to end up.
Tip number 2, and this is something that was born out of our own frustration with trying to reach big financial goals on a low income. That is the 10% challenge.
Hope and I came up with the concept of this 10% challenge way back when we were saving up to purchase a house. We had gone over the budget. We thought the budget was completely topped out, that we had run all of the amounts as far as we could in order to save money. But in about 20 minutes of discussion, we discovered 10% more that we could take off of that budget and put towards savings.
So if you feel like you have trimmed your budget to the bone, try the 10% challenge and see how it works for you. Now, if you're curious, some of the areas that we wound up finding that we could cut from our budget, we wrote an ebook on it. It's 10 ways to radically reduce your expenses. It's a free ebook, and there will be a link to request that resource in the description of this video.
Do a subscription audit. That means check over everything you're subscribed to, and is it necessary? Are you really getting the good out of all those subscriptions? Or can you cut quite a few of them off of your budget in order to save money?
Tip number 4, stop dining out. Really interesting, rather brand new survey that was done within the last 2 or 3 months found that the average American is spending $177 a month just for one person eating out every month. Now, let's just say, for instance, that it's a little bit more than that. I like to round. I like round numbers. Let's just round it up to $200 a month. Even if you cut out 3 out of 4 times that you're eating out every month, you're going to cut out 75% of that. You can still go out to eat. You can still spend $50 a month going out to eat, which is dinner out at maybe 1 nice restaurant or 2 moderate restaurants, and this is per person, right? You can still eat out a little bit, but if you're saving 75% of that, that's $150 a month right there that you're saving.
Tell us in the comment section if you've noticed that the prices at restaurant have gone up. We have noticed this, and this would certainly slow us down when it comes to making decisions on eating out. How has that affected you?
Tip number 5, have coffee in with friends instead of out with friends. I have found myself doing this quite a bit recently. And the nice thing about having coffee in with friends, you just go to a friend's house and you have coffee, and maybe you take like a little coffee cake or something to share with everybody. You can talk and have conversations, meaningful conversations, far more effectively sitting in someone's home than you can at a restaurant. I actually like it better than going out for coffee with friends.
And one of the things you learn when you do this, you learn who out of your friends makes really good coffee. So who do you want to spend more time with more often?
Yeah, we buy really good coffee, guys. Would you like to come to our house for coffee? Because we buy good premium coffee. Which one of your friends buys premium coffee? That's where you want to say, we'll come to your house for coffee. This next one was kind of a game changer for us, and that's the 24-hour waiting period. When you get ready to buy something, especially if it is a high value item, just cool your jets, wait 24 to 48 hours. It is amazing to me after that self-imposed waiting time period, how often, like 48 hours later, you go, wait a minute. It's like the scales fall from your eyes and you're like, I don't really need that thing. It's in the heat of the moment.
Along with this, we have incorporated a certain amount of time that it would take to save up the money in order to buy this. And sometimes in the amount of time that it takes to save up the money and the time that you're ready to purchase this, you decide, I don't really need this thing anymore. I don't want it. Now you save the entire amount.
Negotiate bills. It is surprising how many types of bills that you pay every month that you can negotiate the prices on. Everything from your cable bill, your internet bill, your phone bill, all of those can be negotiated in order to get better rates. Now, if you want a step-by-step guide on how to do it, we did a video and we walked you through it step by step, what to ask, who to talk to, what exactly you do to try to lower those bills. We'll make sure there's a link to that video, guys, up above and in the description of this video.
Another way to lower bills is to simply switch your service providers. And we have a real good provider that we love, we enjoy, and that we're hooked up with that we have saved a great deal of money on.
Mint Mobile, guys. You know, we talk about Mint Mobile a lot on this channel and with good reason.
Yes.
We switched to Mint over a year ago. We have been super happy with their service. $15 a month is what we pay for our plan with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is our partner for this video. Let's talk honestly about cell phone service just for a minute. Big Wireless loves to overcomplicate cell phone packages. And they love to make you believe that the adage must be true, that if it costs more, it must be better. But that's absolutely not true. Here's what you really need when it comes to cell phone service. You want reliability, like Mint Mobile's 5G nationwide network. You want unlimited talk and text. And you also want some mobile hotspot data. That's like the icing on the cake. And Larry and I use our hotspot data every single month with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers all three of those things, guys, on any of their plans that they offer. Larry and I were able to switch to Mint Mobile in about 15 minutes. We used an eSIM card. Our sons did not have an eSIM capability, so they had Mint Mobile send them a free SIM card. We also manage everybody's plan in one really easy to use hub. It's called Mint Modern Family. And Mint's sweet packages are even sweeter right now, because right now, between now and the end of the year, when you sign up for 3 months of service with Mint Mobile, they are going to give you an extra 3 months absolutely free. How do you find out more information? There's a QR code right between us on the screen right there. You can also use our very special link. It is mintmobile.com/under the median. That information also is going to be all the way at the top of the description of this video. Now remember, this is good on all of Mint's plans, including their generous unlimited plan. But it is good for a limited amount of time. It's good between now and the end of the year, so you're going to want to go check it out.
One of the things that you can do to put some extra money in your pocket is to simply sell things around your house that you don't need. Go through and take a little inventory and look at items that you've not really been using. They've been sitting around, they look important, they look like you need them, but you're really not using them. Take those items and list them on your favorite places to sell, like Marketplace or eBay or wherever it is you like to sell stuff. Put them on there and get some money back from those items, and you'll also free up your house a little bit.
We've even had specialty items, like some of our higher end antiques that we've sold through local consignment shops.
Yeah.
We have used a number of different avenues, because I think when people talk about selling unwanted or unneeded items, they immediately say, well, Facebook Marketplace, but I don't use Marketplace. There are so many other places around and so many other ways that you can still sell items around your house that you no longer want or need. So take advantage of that. Join store loyalty programs and use all the perks. Kroger card is a great example. Not only when you get a Kroger store loyalty card can you get high value coupons from Kroger, you can also accrue those wonderful Kroger gas points where you can save so much per gallon every month on your gasoline fill ups. So make sure, the bottom line in this is make sure that you thoroughly understand all of the perks that come with that store loyalty card so you can decide A, whether you want to sign up for it, and B, make sure that you're using them all.
Another way to save money is use coupons and cashback apps like Fetch, and there are so many others. Hope recently did a video where she did a special shopping trip to Walgreens where she saved a lot of money utilizing these things.
And Fetch, you heard me go, woo, I love Fetch. When Larry mentioned Fetch, we'll make sure once again that there's a link to Fetch also in the description of this video in case you don't use Fetch. We get questions all the time. I'm sorry, our Canadian viewers, it is just an app that is available to use in the US. We are planning to do a video after the first of the year, though, that talks about 8 different great savings apps. And some of those apps are available in Canada. So be watching for that video coming up in a few weeks whenever I'm done doing all of my research on the cashback apps.
If you're enjoying this video, make sure that you hit the like button. That helps with the algorithms and it helps YouTube kind of help promote the video for other viewers to watch. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe.
This next one was a game changer for us. When it came to reaching financial goals, this one was huge. So listen up. Automate savings. Anytime that you can tell your bank on the 15th of every month, I want you to pull $100 from this account. I want you to put it in this other account. Some credit unions and banks will allow you to have multiple accounts under one name. I knew a lady that had like 7 or 8 different accounts in her credit union. Each one was a different sinking fund. We don't do that. We do not go that far, guys. But we do have different accounts that we use for different reasons. We also have different investment accounts that we use for different reasons. And we have all of that money automatically pulled on specific dates every single month. Why? Because when it's automated, it will happen automatically and it will grow. It will seem far less effort. It will seem effortless in order for that savings to grow when it's happening automatically.
And while you're doing some automatic things, make sure that you automatically deposit your check from your workplace into an account in your bank. And that way, you're not looking at that cash and seeing it in your hand or in your wallet where you could easily spend it. Money that's going directly into your bank is more than likely to stay there.
Negotiate lower interest rates. This is hard right now because interest rates are going up. We totally and completely get that. But when interest rates are on the decline, it's much easier to negotiate a lower interest rate. Now, with credit card companies, you may be able to negotiate a lower interest rate, particularly if you have paid that account on time every single month. You may be able to find a lower interest rate, or you might be able to find a credit card that is, say, 0% interest for 6 months. But you have to be aware that after that 6 months, here's what people don't realize, and I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again now. The interest rate on credit cards is directly related to the prime lending rate. So if you look, even if you have a 0% cashback or 0% interest rate credit card right now, look at the fine print because you will see that what it says is after that specified amount of time, it will go to the prime lending rate plus a certain number of percentage points. And that's going to put it up there somewhere in the 20, 23, 24% range generally. Credit card interest rate is no joke, guys. It is very, very high. Our advice, as always, is to pay off credit cards as soon as humanly possible. But while you're doing that, there's no problem with calling that credit card company and saying, hey, I've paid on time every single month for the last 3 years. Would you lower the interest rate to give me a hand? And sometimes they will.
Pay cash for purchases. Generally speaking, you're going to pay less by paying it in cash than you are by using a form of credit, like your credit card or your debit card. People will give you a little discount for that cash.
Actually, paying with cash hurts so much more than sliding any kind of plastic card that statistically you actually spend less when you hand over cash. But in addition to that, Larry kind of alluded to this. See if you can negotiate yourself a cash price. Larry and I do this all the time, and we generally save somewhere between 3 and 10% when we say, hey, we're going to pay cash, just cold hard cash today. You're going to get all your money. Can you do a little better on the price? And a lot of times businesses will say yes.
Meal planning can really help
Yeah.
save you a boatload of money. When you're planning, you can plan for several meals on just a few
Absolutely.
ingredients that you've bought maybe a little bit in bulk at the grocery store. Hope recently did a video on this.
I did. I bought a bunch of Kroger the red mesh bag merchandise.
Yeah.
A lot of produce, and then I showed exactly how to use those items that were in the red mesh bags and create a menu plan that would last us for suppers for the entire week. I spent $10 on the entire menu, guys. Once again, oh gosh, I've said this like 3 times, but I'll say it again. I'll link that video for you guys in the description of this video because actually it was, I think, a super helpful video. Now, the next one kind of goes along with that, and that's just remember, cook at home.
Yes.
This is so helpful because oftentimes, here's what happens. You run to the grocery store because you are telling yourself what? We are out of food. And oftentimes that is not the case. There's plenty of food for you to cook at home. It's just that a lot of times you don't even know what you have at home. So keeping that running inventory, every Thursday we do what's called a perishable food inventory, where we make a prioritized, I get to say it, a prioritized list of all the perishable food we have in the house. And then I use that perishable food plus items I also have in the house on hand, and I create a menu plan that easily will last us 4 or 5 days. And that is on those days, I'll remind you guys, when I myself am thinking there's nothing to eat in the house.
Sometimes it's good to just make a little bit extra money for your monthly income. And one way to do that is to use freelance or part-time work. One thing nice about freelancing is that you're taking a skill that you already have and you're offering that to others for them to pay for what you know how to do. You're an expert in that field. One of the things that I learned how to do, I used to transfer videos from films, actual films, to VHS tape, and I got really good at it. So I started offering that as a service, and I could make some pretty good money for our family by doing some transfers. Later, I put those to DVD so they could have them digitally.
So freelancing, side gigs,
Yeah.
that would be another way. So
Yes.
these are ways you can bring in extra money. Freelancing, which I did freelancing for years.
Oh, yeah.
Side gigs, and part-time work. Here's another thing that will bring in extra money, and that is working second or third shift. Work those overnight hours. Oftentimes that overnight shift comes with a bump in salary between $1 and $2 per hour. So if you're a night owl anyway, then working that overnight shift could bring in some extra money.
Working overtime can also put some extra money in your pocket as well. So there's so many different ways to fill up that budget and do a really good job for yourself.
There you go, guys. We gave you 5 different ways right there, 5 different ideas for just bringing in extra money. Here's another one that is not often talked about. Sell your plasma. So plasma is the clear part of blood, and there are plasma banks across the United States. You can go in, you can donate your plasma, but you are paid for it somewhere between $50 and $75. It totally is different from one plasma donation center to another plasma donation center. So sort of research it in your area and see what they're paying, and you could make several $100s a month by donating your plasma. It does take some time, though. It takes several hours.
Before Hope researched that, I had no idea that you could make that kind of money, $50 to $75 for donating your plasma. And really, it's a good service. It's a good service to the medical field as well. Another thing you can do is switch to all generic brands. If you're buying major brands of different items, try the generic brands. Most often, a generic brand is made by a major brand anyway. So you're just getting a major brand only without that labeling on it.
Take advantage of program perks. This just happened in our house this week. Our son Daniel is finally done with the semester of college. Woo, woo, another 4.0. I'll have a proud mama here moment here just for a second. He got straight A's again this semester. But anyway, he is on break and he said, I got to go get the oil changed in my car. I'm like, did you ask how much it's gonna be? Did you ask if there were any coupons available? They're running specials this time of the year. He's like, nope. He walks out the door. I'm like, well, okay, too bad for you. So he walks in about an hour later. He's like, okay, I got it done. I'm like, what did you pay to have it done? He goes, He knew that when he bought the car that they offered him 2 free oil changes, and he said, it was part of the perks I got when I bought the car. And I said, do you know how much I love you right now? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. So that is my example of know the perks. Oftentimes, when you purchase something, there are perks that come with it. And if you don't pay attention, you miss the opportunity to use those.
Another way to make a little bit of extra money, and my job did this, you could have some extra money for some health goals. If you did some things according to their health department that would be good for you, like making so many steps, maybe participating in a gym for over 1 or 2 days a week, different things that you could do that were healthy for you, they would give you money for doing those things because ultimately it costs them less money because now you're going to be healthier.
I think so. When you did it, I think it was about $100 for getting his blood tested, just for getting a regular blood panel.
Yeah.
Once he showed them that he had done that, they gave him $100 extra. And then when he met specific like exercise goals, I think it was another $400. It was $500. That is quite a little bit of change for just taking care of yourself throughout the year.
They had one for walking, and I actually talked to the administrator into using my bike riding because I rode my bike back and forth to work, and then I could take that off using that and get a little extra money because I was healthier for having my bike as a rideable item into work. So it was a good program.
I remember they asked him, they said, how will we know that you're riding your bike into work? He said, stop in my office.
You see my
You'll
bike.
see my bike.
It's sitting
if
right
my
there
bike
at my
is
desk.
there, I rode it from my house to work.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they allowed him to do that. They made an exception to the rule because otherwise you had to belong to a gym.
Yeah.
You had like somebody at the gym that would check off that you'd been there 3 times that week or something. And Larry's like, I don't want to buy a gym membership. I'm riding my bike 15 miles, it's 7.5 miles downtown and then 7.5 miles back. He's like, it's 15 miles round trip. I'm doing it 3 days a week. How's that work for you? So don't be afraid to ask questions. If your employer offers something like this, don't be afraid to ask them questions about how the program works and say, hey, could I do this? And will that qualify for getting this cash back? One of the things that we have really noted is that all of these things that we're sharing with you, these are all trends. We see a tremendous uptick in all of these ways that people are looking to save money. It all is coming down to having different streams of income. That's really what it's boiling down to. And when it comes to frugal trends, we see like quite a few of them that are taking off in 2024, and we think it's really going to impact you and your budget and the way that you spend your money. You want to know more about our thoughts on frugal trends in 2024? We did a video on it. It's right over there. Watch that video next. You might find it super helpful.